mechanistic structure of how resistance training interacts with the human organism, what makes certain patterns uniquely effective, and why compound plus progressive load emerges as the convergent solution. Here's that deeper systems level view. 1. Structural reason, compound lifts dominate. Every movement is a network of levers. When you recruit multiple joints, you're not just adding muscles, you're engaging the global force production architecture, skeletal leverage, fascial tension lines, and central motor programs. Heavy multi-joint work forces the motor cortex spinal circuitry to synchronize large motor unit pools. That synchronization itself is the adaptation that allows higher tension and, by extension, hypertrophy. Isolation work cannot reach that integration threshold. It refines, not builds. The physics of overload, mechanical tension is proportional to load moment arm by time under tension. Progressive overload is the systematic escalation of this integrated stress. The organism reads that as a deviation from homeostasis. Anabolic signaling, mTOR, IGF-1, satellite cell activation, restores equilibrium by enlarging tissue capacity. More weight, more reps, more sets isn't a slogan. It's the quantifiable perturbation required for the feedback loop to remain active. 3. Energetic hierarchy. Hypertrophy only persists when the energetic surplus can sustain tissue repair and neural adaptation. Energy goes first to neural and endocrine upkeep, second to connective tissue remodeling, last to contractile fiber expansion. Drop energy or fat too low, and the hierarchy collapses in reverse order. First, muscle growth halts, then strength, then hormonal balance. 4. The nervous system's governor. The CNS limits output long before muscles reach their structural limit. Heavy compounds teach the nervous system to tolerate higher motor unit recruitment by repeated exposure to high force states. That adaptation is why a squat or deadlift session carries systemic anabolic effects disproportionate to local muscle stress. It's a CNS recalibration event. 5. The feedback triad. Every effective training system resolves the tension between three variables. 1. Stimulus magnitude, load times volume. 2. Recovery latency, sleep, nutrition, hormonal state. 3. Adaptation rate, genetic ceiling plus current conditioning. The art is to keep stimulus just beyond adaptation rate, but within recovery latency. That's why autoregulation, small weekly load increments or rep targets, works better than rigid periodization once technique is stable. Hash 6, the minimal sufficient system. Strip away branding and dogma, and you end up with 6 movement archetypes. 1. Vertical press, overhead press. 2. Horizontal press, bench dip. 3. Vertical pull, pull up, lat pull down. 4. Horizontal row. 5. Knee dominant, squat lunge. 6. Hip dominant, deadlift hinge. Master these patterns through full ROM under progressive load, and every major skeletal muscle receives enough mechanical tension to reach its natural ceiling. Everything else is refinement or therapy. 7. The long-term law. The hypertrophy curve is logarithmic. First year, neural learning plus glycogen storage, rapid gains. Second, third year, real myofibrillar growth. Beyond that, diminishing returns governed by hormonal environment and connective tissue tolerance. Trying to accelerate this with excess volume only burns recovery capital. Patience under consistent progression wins. Number 8. What separates effective lifters from the rest? Not a secret exercise, but the ability to track data objectively, volume, intensity, fatigue markers, adjust stimulus to recovery instead of emotion, maintain fat and calorie levels that preserve endocrine function. Treat training as a controlled biological experiment, not recreation. That's the genuine systems view. Resistance training as an iterative closed loop between mechanical input, endocrine neural response, and tissue adaptation.